Hi parents, this is Michael Wallace, high school pastor at Westover. Thanks for checking out this video. I want to let you know what's coming up in May. We have a new series that we're doing. It's called I Really, 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 Really Like You. The title is taken from a Carly Rae Jepsen song that's popular on the radio right now. And in this series, over this 3-week period, we're going to be talking about relationships and dating and sex and purity and all the tension-filled things that can go along with that. So first of all, I want to let you know that we're going to be talking about that at Fuse on Wednesday nights so that you'll have that heads up and that you can make sure that you have your student there. We're going to have 3 very unique weeks to the series. The first week, I'm going to talk about imperfect love and how we're constantly chasing after this void in our heart to be filled by relationships, by dating, by sex, by intimacy, by all these different things, and it's an imperfect imitation of the love that we so desire. The second week of the series, Amy Haywood, who's one of our small group leaders at Fuse, will be sharing about perfect love. What is the response? Where is it that we actually find this match for what our heart desires when it comes to perfect love, and understanding what that is and how we get it. The third week, the final week, we're going to do something very special. We're actually going to split guys and girls. We're going to do some different panel discussions all about dating. It's going to be uncensored. It's going to be gloves off, guys talking with guys, girls talking with girls, and it's going to be just an unfiltered debate and discussion about what dating is really like and how we practically live out God's expectation for our relationships, for our intimacy, and for our dating, and how we actually make that happen. So it's a really cool series. I'm very excited for it, and I want to let you guys know those 3 weeks we're going to be talking about sex, we're going to be talking about intimacy, we're going to be discussing those things that at this point hopefully you've had those conversations with your student, but I want to let you know that they're going to be getting it on Wednesday nights as well, just so that you are prepared to hopefully be having some intentional conversations with them when they get home. This week, the last week of April, we're concluding a series called Make War that we've been doing at Fuse with a worship night. We've talked about sin and how sin makes war with God, and it's not a war that God started, but it is a war that God's going to finish. And even though our heart started the war with God, we put the gap between us and Him. We broke the relationship. He went after us, and He allows us to come back into communion with Him, into unity with Him. And so we've been talking about that the last couple weeks. This week, Wednesday, April 29th, we will conclude the series with a night of worship. Griffin Kale and his band is going to be here leading worship that whole night. It's going to be a really special, intimate time where we will simply respond to God's chasing after us with worship. I want to kind of pull the curtain back and open up my heart a little bit to you guys right now. What happens at Fuse on a Wednesday night is very special. It's very special in the sense that it's something that students don't get every single day. On Wednesday nights at Fuse, students get a chance to not only connect with other people, they get to see friends from other schools, maybe friends from their same school, adults who lead small groups, and some adults that just are there to connect with them. So there's a lot of connection that happens. There's a lot of relationships that happen. Also at Fuse, we have worship. Pretty much every week we're going to spend time worshiping God, usually through song and usually in a communal format as we congregate together and we sing songs to worship God. Another thing that happens at Fuse every week is we're going to use this book. It's called the Bible. It's God's Word, and we're going to lift truth out of this. And so our goal at Fuse on Wednesday nights is to take this truth and see life through it and live our lives through the reality of God's Word. We do this on Wednesday nights primarily in series teaching. So we just finished Make War. The next series is I Really, 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 Really Like You. So we'll take what's true. We'll take the truth of God's Word and we try to present it in a very relevant, very practical way for your students. And I say all that to say there is nothing that your student can spend their time doing that makes a more lasting impression than being involved in the local church. There's no club, there's no team, there's no GPA, there's no job, there's nothing else that's going to have the long-term trajectory in their lives. It's going to change the way they see themselves, change the way they see you, change the way they see their family and their future and all of their other relationships than being involved in the local church. And guys, that starts with you as parents. That starts with you setting the bar and making the expectation that they're involved. So I ask you, not because it has anything to do with me, but because I have talked to so many parents post-high school who have said, you know what, I wish my student had been involved when they were in high school. I wish I had pushed it more. I wish I had made it a priority for our family. You guys as parents set the priority. You set the calendar, you've got the checkbook, it all flows through you. So I want to challenge you, I want to encourage you, I want to tell you it's never too late. It's never too late to get your student involved, to get them consistently coming and involved at Fuse on Wednesday night. I know that your calendar is chock full. I have 2 kids and 1 on the way. I know how busy things can be for families in 2015. But the impact that can be had on your family and on your students, not just their spiritual life, but everything about their life and their future, it hangs in the balance of how intentional we are with God's Word, and especially opportunities like they have every week to be involved in a ministry like Fuse. Thank you so much for what you do. I know many of you, your students, are here every single week, and if you're watching this video, it's likely that I'm preaching to the choir. But if your students aren't coming, get them here. Make sure they're in a small group, connecting with an adult leader, and here at Fuse on Wednesday nights. Life change happens when we organize our lives around this, when this becomes a foundational part of our lives, and we get to be involved in this in a community that believes the same thing. Life change happens. Thank you so much for your support and for what you do. It's really a joy of mine to be able to partner with you guys as you lead your students, as we lead your students, and we get to do that together. So thanks so much.